So certainly digging deeper into the champion pools, but King was able to take out an Anivia in Game 3. You know, they won with the Jinx as well.
Yeah, I think it's one of these situations where later in series, these a little bit more niche counter picks just become absolutely insane. I think the best example I can give is the Olaf from Zeus, we've seen 2 times come out in Game 5 and just dominate. Once the like traditional blockers to these picks being powerful are gone, you can really just have some insane strength with them. This is GENG's first game on the blue side as well, it's important to mention. And banning away some tanks so far. The Maokai obviously have Flex. The Shen very much banned away from Lahens.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll go even deeper and think about the Elise. I feel like Elise has fallen off a little bit so far in the meta. They're actually going to take away the Lulu. Because as we get deeper and deeper, you know, some of these AD carry picks that can dominate lane go away, and you begin to see more of like, you know, Twitch Lulu, Jinx obviously gone.
I think as well, like, remember when we had like Zeri Lulu and like big picks into it were Vi and Nautilus. Those are both gone now. And interesting enough, so the Jace was something that GENG were permanently banning on red side. I feel like you kind of have to prioritize that. You haven't banned it yourself. Keen could do a great job on it. You don't want to give over to Kingen. That feels like a must grab.
Really, the question is, why did they ban Zyra instead of this?
Yeah.
I'm not sure why you're giving over Jace to Keen or Tovi in Game 4.
I feel like it's one of those things where you get into your head with like, okay, you're reading into the bans. Like, okay, they banned Shen, Maokai, Lulu. Does it spell anything? No. Okay. What does it mean? And they're like deciphering what picks would be really strong there. But here's the counterpoint. I feel like this is a flip of the ideal champions you want these top laners to have. Like Kingen on Jace and Keen on Cassante sounds crazy, but they'll just take the opposite side of the equation. And we do get the Varus for Jiwoo coming through, something that we've also seen in the last 2 games, Nongshim banned away, so a lot of priority there.
Yeah. GENG have definitely looked at Nocturne before. They've gone for a lot of dive focused, at least in the last couple of games, compositions. And with the Varus being the AD carry, Nocturne begins to go up in priority. Will we see the Orianna picked alongside of this? We've seen Aurora and Nautilus, or Nocturne rather. Thinking about a Jhin, so that's going to be the choice here.
Yeah, so this kind of feels like a lot of long-range artillery with a Nocturne diving in. I mean, it depends whether the Jace goes mid or top. If it's top, he's going to dive buddy with Nocturne. If it's mid, you kind of just line up the shots on this immobile Varus. So Cassante, having Cassante already is good. This kind of makes you feel like you want more for front line, though, just to kind of be a blocker for some of this. Alistar is a phenomenal pick here, and I really like that they prioritize that before the next rotation. I think if you're diving into Alistar, because obviously Alistar's combo, you commit your W and Q to knock someone up, but if Nocturne's diving into you, you have 2 separate abilities. You can either knock him up or you can knock him away, and if you knock him away and he flashes in, you knock him up, you know? It gives you a lot of tools to disengage, and I think in terms of blocking the artillery, it also does a fantastic job, so I think that's a great pickup from the Hens there. Also, notoriously, Jhin into tanks. Yeah. And I actually love the Azir ban as well, because Azir is good at shredding tanks. You really want to limit the things that can cut through tanks. I think even like a Talia could be a good ban in this situation.
Feels like there's a lot left in that line. You know, Victor could be another one that you could consider, especially with the Azir taken away. The Ahri is taken down here, so we don't have mid-jungle just yet for the side of...
You know, I feel like this could, if it is the, because they definitely need AP, this could honestly even be like a Hui angle from Chovy. I could definitely see him doing that. You can fire like the long-range artillery on top of like the Nocturne diving in. I like the Talia ban, offers a lot of DPS, and also that roaming potential with the Nocturne. Also makes Cassante's life hell. So I think that's a pretty good one there. Remember, no mid-jungle picked up for Nongshim yet. They did ban away the Ahri as one of their mid takeaways. They will ban the Lee Sin as a jungle takeaway. I feel like jungle's left open right now. Kind of like Viego.
Yeah, this is always the Viego spot.
Yeah, this doesn't feel phenomenal, but... I mean, alternatively, you could even go... I mean, it depends really what Giddy wants to come out, because you start getting deep in the trenches and there's a limited pool. They go for the Orianna as kind of a denial, but they do have the ball delivery system, the traditional one of the Alistar, which is that old school...
Traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in my day.
Back in the day, this was the combo. Orianna, Alistar was really good. Brel makes sense. I think as one of the few engaged supports left, even though I think Lehens is fine with the matchup. And then mid lane, I could honestly see it being the Hui in this situation. Chovy has played it a few times before. I think your Victor mention also pretty valid.
It has to be like one of those, right?
Yeah, I think it's one of those.
It has to be something that can burn, that can build the Andres.
Yeah.
And he will go for the Victor.
Okay, so does have that sort of insane damage. Oh my lord.
There you go.
Yeah, this is the thing, when you start to predict jungle picks this late and Fearless, it just really comes down to what the jungler plays. Like, going for the bounce house combo, some of my concerns, this is a composition that kind of lacks damage. You have 2 carry threats, and something we've seen in the previous games, so I think a great example is game 2, is Fisher and Jiwoo kept dying, and even with the Ambessa, they didn't have enough damage to win the fights. If Fisher and Jiwoo die, you have a Zac, a Cassante, and an Alistar, right?
Yeah.
They're not winning the fight. They can't just carry 3v5. So it's really important that Jiwoo and Fisher have an exceptional game in this one. They need better positioning. They need to ensure they're not in a scenario where they're just flopping at the start of the fight. And honestly, when you have Orianna, Alistar, and Zac, you need to kind of lead the charge. I feel like you want to be engaging, you want to be diving in.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And so we're actually getting an update on some stats here from production. The LCK Cup records aren't included in LCK, but Jinrel so far in LCK 2-7. But it's Fearless. It's a different situation, you know?
Yeah.
Going up against Varus Alistar.
There's context.
You know? Yeah, a lot of context here, but either way, we'll see if it works out and if Atlas is happy at the end of the day. Let's jump into the rift for game 4. Here we go, game 4. As I said, I wanted Atlas to be happy. He's never happy when Jin is selected. So not going to happen here tonight. But Fisher is going to take a bunch of damage. And that means he's got a back, which means that Gen G can kind of just take wherever they want. And they'll go into the red buff side jungle. Yep,
got some vision down. Able to establish that. It will, fortunately, be the lethal tempo Varus. I was a little concerned for a moment as we were loading in. You need the DPS, I think, is very true in this composition. I think for Nongshim, they have a really bulky front line. They have 2 carries who scale pretty well, but 2 carry compositions into like a Nocturne, Rel. Those carries have to be in the right position. If they are, I think, great front to back, right? I think it's very obvious that that's true. The front line of Gen G isn't going to be as durable, but there's a big if, you know? Do you see this kind of swap situation? You saw both top laners trying to help out with a little trade here.
Yeah. I mean, lane swap, so.
Yeah, Keen definitely able to contribute more by being ranged half the time.
Kingan's just dashing in their general direction.
I'm like, I'll do it.
I have a shield.
You want?
I mean, it's Orianna, so at the end of the day, it's not like she's suffering all too much outside of health damage. She's at least able to farm. Canyon came in here trying to steal the blue buff, and he might still be able to, but not going to happen.
And they both actually smited there.
Yeah. And now, I mean, Duro comes over, he's level 1. There's nobody in the bottom lane, so he can just do this. And Canyon's just threatening the Cassante ever so much.
Not really a potential to dive if he gets level 2 here, which he should do. And yeah, he'll be completely fine. So I think Kingan doing a lot of things right here. Helps out mid a little bit, moves over, helps out his jungle, gets in bot to pick up the wave. And will safely be able to soak up some XP. We do see on the top side, the Alistar Varus pushing in aggressively. They're not in a position to dive the Jace right now, so like, hey, let's steal some camps away. And this will end up working out really favorably for Gideon. Given that he didn't manage to get the blue buff from the top side. So Canyon forced away here. And the thing with the Nocturne, is your goal in every Nocturne game since the Champions release, which was a long time ago.
I mean, he...
goal in every Nocturne game since the beginning of time is to get level 6 as soon as possible. And this is definitely hamstringing that a good amount. Now, they will be respectful. The wave's getting pushed up, so they back away. And this is the point where you wonder if maybe they stayed a little too long, because you and Lehens are missing out on some farm here. So, a heavy commit to zone away Canyon.
It does feel like the Nocturne is very much behind the 8 ball and just very slow on his route. At the same time, though, Gideon had to take an aggressive route as going to stop him back here with an Ignite. I feel like he could have just stunned him, but...
I think the Ignite's fine, because you don't have to, like, you get locked in the animation. I think you'd have to get in tower hit range for it, and then it sometimes get it.
Also, the Ignite lasts a long time, so he can't just, like, immediately channel it afterwards.
Yeah. It's also one of those things where, like, how likely is it he's going to use, in a lane stop scenario where you're not diving, I don't think he's going to use it anytime soon. It's pretty low cooldown, so...
Harass Ignite.
True.
Amazing.
You know, we keep doing callbacks like the traditional all delivery. Back in the day when we had the masteries, and if your Ignite was on cooldown, you got extra stats. So people would just run into lane and Ignite each other level 1.
Yeah.
That was a thing.
Quite literally, yeah. Just run into each other and press Ignite. Good times. But not the times we're living in. We have other good things nowadays.
Yeah.
Such as Victor versus Orianna. The return. In a game 4 of a Fearless. Couple of control mages. Jin Varus as well. Feels pretty traditional.
Jin, that's the thing. I feel like any champions that came out after you started playing feel kind of new. Like, Jin doesn't feel new, but he doesn't feel that old. But he is pretty old, you know?
I mean, he was, what, like 2014?
I think it was it was after that. I think it was like 2015, 16, something like that. Then again, I say that, and like Kai'Sa still feels like relatively new. She's been out for like 7 years or something.
I think it might have been longer than that. I think she was out before 2018. I don't know.
What? 2018 was 7 years ago?
Yeah, 2018 was 7 years ago. That's the thing.
Stop, Brendan.
Time is passing so fast.
It is. It is. Yeah, so something to take away from how this AD game has panned out. Overall, Canyon hasn't really fallen behind that much except a little bit in XP, but generally keeping it close. Mid lane, though, Fish has been having a rough time into Chovy. And it looks like Gideon's moving over to try and offer some assistance. But right now, that is the lane that is starting to bleed a little bit. And again, this is one of the things when you have a 2-carry composition. If one of your carries falls behind, it feels bad.
Yeah, it feels quite bad. Here is Zach. Love the Zach pick into this one because, you know, if they end up diving into you, if it's like Jace and Nocturne, I'm going to hold that thought as we have a bit of a fight here. Pull through the wall, but this is Keen with Grasp.
Oh,
Hits
nice
a very nice knockback, and that's going to save him here. Oh, the flash forward and knocks in Duro. Down he goes. First blood over to Jiwoo just like that. Lehens, he puts Duro right back in his seat, puts him in his place, tells him to sit down. Part of the reason why we don't see Rel do very well into this Alistar.
I was going to say, though, Ruler's level 6.
I mean, just dodge. Yeah.
It's that easy.
There you go, just dodge. It's easy. And now Jiwoo, he's like, oh, maybe I can keep this guy down. Nope.
Yeah, Ruler was reloading, unfortunately. But yeah, just a great play from Lehens to set up there. And I love the synergy between Jiwoo and Lehens. Feels like the duo's been developing that a little bit. Now, Grubs will go over to GENG. Ruler still has prio there, but I can see Nongshim moving over towards the Dragon. Duro was looking for another Ignite. It's not actually up, never mind. Unfortunate. I was thinking he was going for another one.
Yeah, he wanted to get his stats on cooldown, or he wanted to get his stats up by putting it on cooldown, but it's already on cooldown. Yeah, here we go.
Thing is, he gets locked in the Q animation, and it just gives the perfect window for Lehens to punish. Just a complete outplay from Lehens there. And then here, I do think he walked up a little bit too far and allowed the ult to happen. And yes, Ruler didn't connect the shots. Lehens just dodged, but it was still a little risky.
You know, Ox, nice dodge there. We were talking about Kai'Sa before. We were like, I think it was about 7 years ago It was almost exactly 7 years ago. March 7th, 2018.
Wow.
So there you go. You're correct on that one.
It's nice to be right.
Yeah, it happens, you know, occasionally for you.
Whoa.
Jin was 2016. So
Hey, I said that one as well.
yeah,
You said
I said 2014.
I'm spot on.
But you had 2 years, so
Yeah.
you kind of like get it half right.
2016, which was what, like 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
About that.
Yeah.
Zach, I wanted to talk about it before. It's really good into these immobile carries, and this Victor really, really struggling. Finally gets an ability to press his flash, and he does. I'm not sure why he does, but at least he will get the follow-up flash out of Fisher. Meanwhile, we get a 1v1 here. Keen getting quite low, as maybe it was all just a bait for the Nocturne to come in,
Nice
but
flash, though.
Casante's got flash, and Casante gets to do whatever he wants.
Keen's playing this lane well, very defensively, but you can see he's very much on the back foot in the matchup. But it's just a great gang from Gideon. You know, a lane we said was struggling, which was this mid lane, and you give a kill over to Fisher, the flash is down for Chovy, which allows like return gangs to punish. Definitely what Nongshim need in this one. And I think you look at the scoreboard, kill on Jiwoo, kill on Fisher. This is how you want a composition like this to start the game.
Absolutely. You know, the top laner's going even. That's fine. They're about even. The 80 carries, about even. You know, Ruler's been farming a little bit more.
And actually, this is something that Gideon's kind of been notorious for in the LCK Cup, is that if you get a slight advantage in the jungle, he will run away with it. We've seen him do it on like Sejuani, on Vi. He's 20 CS up on Canyon right now. He is very strong on this Zac. And yeah, I mean, everything lands. You know, the bounce house comes through. Chovy pressed R, but doesn't really get to play the game. I assume the gravity field, he dropped it very late. It might have been on cooldown before that. By the way, a good gank. But yeah, if you look, 20 CS lead between the junglers. Sunfire Cape already for Gideon. So even with that gank coming in, he's still really far ahead in that matchup.
Yeah.
And a whole level up.
And Zac only gets stronger, right? Like, his jump is going to get larger range. He's going to be more of a threat. There's more angles you have to worry about. And with Sunfire Cape, he's already a fast farmer. He gets more levels into his W. He's just farming even faster.
Also, I know I said that, like, you know, it's a 2-carry comp, you need your carries alive, yada, yada, yada.
Oh, boy.
But if Zac jumps on Jin late, if Zac jumps on Jin later and he's a fed Zac, he will just 100-0 him without Jin able to do anything.
Absolutely.
He will spangle him.
That's why the Zac 5th pick is so strong. And that's why Red Side has a lot of strength in theory, but our teams don't seem to really play into that very often. So I'm really glad that Nongshim did this time around. Can even be good for peeling against the Nocturne if he's in that position. He probably won't be. Speaking of which, Nocturne trying to go in, as there you go. The bouncy caster, you're peeling for your Orianna. It's not going to work out very well, and there you go. The stun comes in for the Victor. This time pulling the Zac in is the Rel, but only able to get the 1 kill this time.
Yeah, good counterplay though coming out from GENG, and on the back of this, they might look to get 6 grubs. I say might, because Gideon's healing off this camp. Zac notorious for a lot of healing, and Canyon is pretty low. They could actually contest this, potentially. Remember, Chovy has no mana right now. No mana, no ult.
He's just going for the kill. He's just like going in there. He's looking for Canyon. There's the TP. And so Nongshim kind of painfully, but they do at least pick up 2 grubs. GENG got 4, so.
Yeah, but they stopped the extra point for the Fear Strength. They stopped the 6. I think it's pretty positive considering how the play started.
Yeah.
Do you want to look towards that dragon that is up on the map now, though? And we'll see the replay coming through. So just a nice counter engage after Chovy dodges everything. And the shockwave comes through, but I believe caught by the spell shield of the Nocturne. So it doesn't pull him away. And he just sticks on top of you. And definitely nice to get some good value, because that first Nocturne ult really didn't pay off when he went bot lane, but that one definitely what you're looking for.
He chose a better target this time, let's say.
Yeah, I think, generally speaking, Orianna Varus every time for the Nocturne ult.
Not Casante, okay?
Yeah, I'm going to say, though, it's going to feel uncomfortable, because at some point, if you dive into these carries and they're not isolated, they will just, you'll get bounce house. You're just not going to play the game for like a solid, like you have so many things that can just drag you off the target. And once that fear tether's broken, you're in no man's land.
That's why I like the Genji draft. They started with the Jace, and then they ended up with Nocturne Jhin, and it's like you've got a decent amount of poke, and you have a lot of pick potential, dive potential with the Nocturne, but it kind of, you know, you needed damage eventually to deal with all the tanks. I feel like Nongshim really handled the draft very well, and the individual picks that were coming out, they always had an answer. And now they just have this massive front line that Genji don't really have a great answer for, outside of Chovy. And you see that they're trying to dive here on the Keen, but really just mainly getting space for Jiwoo.
The arrows, the Halo arrows from Jiwoo didn't hit, but if it did, he would have just taken tower aggro, so probably for the best. But yeah, you can see Nongshim kind of threatening, but not wanting to overcook, unless...
just going in. There's the bounce castle once again. Stretching strikes. Utilized, but the follow-up is very slow, but there's the Chains of Corruption, and there you go.
Okay.
On the Duro.
I saw Drula coming down with ult, and I was like, is this too much? But no, they managed to get it and disengage.
And they give it to their carry, the Zac in the jungle.
Absolutely. So, good moves there from Nongshim, and it feels like it's not new in this game, but they really have been driving the pace in the series in whole, as a whole. It feels like they've been the ones making things happen. You have seen Gideon take part in these plays. In the meantime, Canyon is massively caught up in farm, so not to be outdone. He has worked hard to try and bring up the parity there.
Yeah, thinking about diving Cassante again. Don't do it. It's not a good idea. They do want this first turret, though. And with King getting low, even with Lahens here, they can at least siege the turret. Jiwoo, threatening.
I think he can win.
Oh, I don't know. No.
Can't. The way
Not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And that's going to deny the feats of strength from Nongshim.
Yeah, it's close, but doesn't manage to get it. And now it's going to come down to the neutral objectives, which they're both even on at 1 apiece. We have Herald up at a minute, Dragon up at 3, so look at those. But to be honest, I feel like feats of strength in their current state, not that crazy. And this is the play. I was kind of thinking, you know, they burnt a lot of their CC already, but I guess they still had the Zac ult, they still had that combo, they still had the Varus ult. I was a bit concerned about the Jhin coming down, but I think this front line is just too much for a Jhin to really do anything into. So bit of a wrong read from me, but a right read from Nongshim.
You can see that Gideon, it looked like he wanted to go for Keen.
Yeah, there was that hesitation.
I think that Lahens was probably screaming like, no flash, because Dura at the time didn't have his flash. He has it now.
I've got some news for you, Brendan.
What's that?
Okay. 3 super bulky tanks on the enemy team, right? What item?
Oh, no!
What item would you... It's not a tank kill, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, he's going to do the thing where he goes Collector, and then he eventually goes for a Last Whisper item, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to rush LDR first or anything, but I just think a lot of people will see Cassante, Zac, Alistair, and then they'll see Jhin with Collector, and they'll be like, it ain't happening.
Of course.
It's never happening, bro.
It's not.
How many times do you think he has to reload to kill?
He's gonna fumble the bullets before he's able to do that.
He'll drop them on the floor.
Yeah. He's gonna trip over them. He's like tumbling down the stairs. Poor Jhin, man.
Poor Jhin.
I mean, you're not able to really shoot through this front line, though. That's really for sure. I'm not sure how he's gonna deal damage to the back line either. We have a TP coming in as Zac, very fed. The Paranoia is going to break up this fight as the Cassante has to tank up a punch. But I love the angle here on a ruler. Gets into a really rough spot, but the engage from Duro is quite nice. But yeah, look, trying to hit the back line. They're not quite able to do so. And down will go Duro. You see that Lahens and Jiwoo quite low themselves, but Kingin and Gideon still alive and thriving. They stay alive for so long. Nobody can kill these tanks. They both get stunned somehow. Chovy! He is going to flash away from the cube, but it's still going to give a shutdown over to Fisher. Was it really worth it in the end? As yes, he did get the kill, but here comes Nongshim on the chase, looking for more.
Oh, the Jhin!
Yeah. What do you do as Jhin in his act?
He's run out of bullets!
You die!
He's fumbling them! And Nongshim...
He's starting to cry!
Look, with a huge team fight! Once again, it feels like they're the ones who know how to play the early game, and these fights have been so much more crisp as the series has gone on. This one, so I think the TP from Kingin is very bold, but I love the confidence. He flies in, and he does... This is peak K'Sante. You dive into 3 people in the backline, and you just drag the AD carry out, and Jin is petrified. In the meantime, Juro gets a good ult, good damage on a Jiwoo, but you see Fisher moves in to actually block the Jin ults initially, which is really nicely played. And Keen gets focused down by that Orianna ult, which I think is a great move. You don't have to get 4 people with it, just get 1 viable target. But then Chovy here, with a bit of an outplay on Jiwoo, but even then, that's not enough. They just can't cut through this front line yet, if ever.
I mean, the Zac, it was just kind of unkillable, as now Rel ult's going to be used onto an ulting Alistar.
Yeah, he was like 2 seconds on his ult at the start of that play, and I think maybe they thought it was still not available.
Oh, Chemtech Soul.
It just came up. Chemtech Soul with this Nongshim comp is actually insane.
It's actually really
Genuinely,
good.
It is the best case I'm not going to say that it's the best Soul you want with this comp. That's not true. But if you're going to pick a comp to have Chemtech Soul, it's the one with like 3 Gigatanks. And you have a Jin.
It's the Jin. I mean, he doesn't do damage already.
I can't wait from the 4th shot, like Gideon at like 30% HP, and it just not kill him.
Down to 27% HP.
27.8. Let's be clear, you know. I mean, I think Mountain Soul would be even more insane for this comp. But you know, I digress. It's a good Chemtech angle. K'Sante gonna love that one. Oh, ult comes in. There's a Giga Cone.
Yeah. And I mean, they're gonna go together. There's another Giga Cone. Can he get the angle?
Wait, he's in the tower! Oh my god! Oh my god, he got Giga Cone!
All right, end the game. We're done. Go next.
Oh my lord!
Go next. It's over.
You know what, Brendan? I finally found someone who hates Mega Blast Cones more than you, and it is Canyon right now.
Today.
Oh my god, that's such a tilter. Nongshim are looking great.
Yeah, I mean, I said it as a joke, but I think the game might actually just be over.
It seems like, dare I say it, this game seems won for Nongshim at this point.
And it's going to be their 4th win in a row.
Wait.
Not actually, but
okay.
They've been in positions to win.
This is so funny, actually.
Ah, yes. Here.
Boing.
I got him.
안녕하세요.
I got that one. Said hello at the end. And then Jin getting back. This is, dude. This is not the Jin game. This is not it.
They didn't see the R5 Zac pick coming, I guess.
I love how Kanye must have dove in and be like, guys, there's no Alistar, K'Sante, or Zac nearby. I can't get bounce housed. Little did he know.
Yeah, little did he know.
Little did he know. They're going for Atakan. TP committed, but I don't even think Genji can... They're not even bothering to approach. I mean, this is a 2-item Blader and King Rage Blade. Varus shredding this.
Yeah, I mean, they were never going to be able to approach this. So the TP's a bit wasted. And now Kingen might sheepishly just run up to the top lane to catch the wave. But it's still a big win for Nongshim, right? They're going to get the Otacon, and they're in a position to use it. Because it's not old Otacon where you get to dive basically for free, but still get to dive really well.
Oh, and they certainly are a composition that will die. My only concern is, can they even die?
Well, I guess we'll find out. It's a big Rel ultimate to come in, but the damage not quite there. Finally, beginning to land just a bit. Gideon goes into his passive for the first time, as it looks like, in fact, Genji will get a decent amount of value from these Otacon resets, as in goes King in, the knockback once again. Fantastic and crisp. Fisher, no! Don't do it. He is going to pull the Jin over once again, as they're doing negative damage to Kingen, as Kingen assassinating the Jin, trying to at least. He does eventually get withdrawn.
Well, the answer is yes, they can die, you know.
Yeah.
I was thinking they're very tanky. Would they even be able to go? Yes, they definitely can. I'm glad they could answer that swiftly for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they can run out of health. This kind of feels like that previous game when I said, can Ambessa's health move? And then literally 7 seconds later,
Yeah.
the Kingen died. A little bit crazy, this one. A little bit hectic. Some flubs. It was actually a phenomenal flash from Keen there to read Lahens. And then it got a bit scrappy. A lot of tower hits coming in, low health bars, Jin actually doing things. Collector which works on low health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Collected.
Collected. And then Fisher with an unfortunate flash here. Keen is just clean. I'm going to be honest. No notes for him. He's been playing well. Ruler is not having a fun. Look at this fourth shot. Look at this fourth shot. Boom! Oh. Keen's like, I got it. Don't worry, little bro.
Yeah. They don't have Chemtech Soul yet.
Yeah.
We'll see what damage it does when they have Chemtech Soul.
It's only a 1.5 item Cassante as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Ruler did go the Collector, and then he's immediately like, I need armor pen. Percentage pen.
Yes. He figured that out. And so he'll be getting that Mortal Reminder any second.
Yeah.
But is it enough? I do think that Nongshim did not have to give over 1,000 gold to GENG. That wasn't very clean.
Look, I'm gonna be honest, Brendan. If we're gonna make a list of things Nongshim didn't need to do in this series, we could fill a book. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things they didn't need to do.
Is that one even top 5? Probably not.
We have a lot of things that I'm sure the coaches reminded them that you guys really didn't need to do this.
Yeah.
But you know, Nongshim do as Nongshim do, and they've managed to secure the third dragon, one away from Chemtech Soul. And for those who we are on the 25.S1.3, Chemtech Soul has been buffed. It's now 13% increased damage and damage reduction under half HP, and especially with this comp, good value. So I feel like when you're already this far behind, losing that as well just feels so bad. When, I mean, look at Jin's items. Yeah, I mean, you need the healing reduction, but it means you have less armor pen. But that just doesn't feel inspiring. I don't see that on my Jin and think, wow. Okay, actually, to be honest, this is kind of unfair on the build. It's just the Jin in general. I see a Jin into these tanks, and I'm like...
Yeah, he was able to do damage when they dove the turret and got 3-man Rel ulted.
Yes. I mean, I think the tower probably did more.
He slowed them.
True. I mean, if they're like less than 5% HP, he will collect them.
Yeah.
You know, and
that
you'll get
true.
a little bit of extra gold that you can put towards items, which I've heard helps you do more damage. Remains to be seen though, for Jin.
Yeah, we're not sure about that yet. We need more data. I
also think it's an unfortunate game when, like, you know, you need to kill the Orianna and the Varus, and your divers, your Nocturne, your Rel, are combined 171.
Yeah.
It's only a 3.5k gold lead, which isn't even the most insane gold lead we've seen in this series, but it just feels so hard to come back from here. Only Keen. Keen is, you know what? Keen with his 2 gold bounty, 3 gold bounty, sorry. He's doing his best.
How dare you?
Wait, 6 gold bounty, okay.
He's climbing.
He's climbing up
The game has recognized his efforts.
Yes.
Thank you, game. Yeah, I mean, this... I feel like Nongshim as well, they did a really good job of identifying early on that, hey, Nocturne's probably the only issue that our carries will have. And if we
shut him
can
out of the game,
put him out of the game very early on, it's just kind of over. Because what is Jace going to do? What is... I mean, we talked about Jin a lot. Like,
the thing is, I actually think...
The Victor, can he do it alone? No.
If it was damage Jace... Nah, never mind. I was thinking, like,
no, I don't think
at least you can poke, but they're just going to jump on you, so it doesn't work.
Jin value? Actually rooting him, and now the follow-up comes in. The cats here onto the Orianna will be huge. As long as they get it, looks like they will.
There's the Jace value. Okay, guys, are you going to look towards Baron? Probably. Kingan's getting ready to TP in. That is one of the carries down, but it's 40 seconds and then he can TP. And GENG are not going to do anything.
Yeah.
You know... Okay, I'm going to say it. I get it, because I think going Baron there is extremely risky.
Yeah.
But the problem is, when you look at it, okay, they've been Seeker's Arm Guard, but Fisher's about to finish Zhonya's. You didn't get Fisher's Flash. You didn't even get TP from Kingen, right? This sort of play, it's fine for you not to get Baron off it, but you really would have hoped to get a bit more. And the end result is, like, this is gold. And don't get me wrong, like, gold's important, but you didn't achieve much more than just getting a bit of gold onto your team. So, again, it's nice. You would have hoped for a bit more. You would hope to be able to transition, because the game state hasn't drastically changed as a result of that. Did finish Keen's third item though, that's something.
Yeah, you can see that Kenyon was purposely trying to hand the item over because he went experimental.
Yeah.
Exploit.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think going the tanky build for Jace is right, because if you don't, you're just going to get one shot. But also, like, these shock blasters don't hit. You know, if you hit, like, a key shock blast on Geo and you are, like, the Thaldi Jace, that's where I could see, like, oh, you know, things are difficult. But
we've seen the angle here, Ox, for the Jhin to do damage.
Oh.
Double Black Cleaver.
Wow. And then now he's going to Z-Light him.
Yeah, it's possible if we attack enough. They will die.
Once Gideon gets Spirit Visage, and if they get this Chemtech Soul, I think he just becomes immortal. The thing is,
but
as
he's
well,
only one blob.
Chovy's not going Void Staff yet. He's gone Seekers because he's like, I don't want to get Bounce Housed and one-shot by Orianna. But
they
now,
have vision on this.
You know what? I'm not sure Nongshim mind too much. And GENG were committed so hard to bot side.
Yeah.
They're like, buffed Chemtech Soul, we can't let them get it.
Yeah. They're just so out of position here. GENG, you gotta get in, but you can't.
Too late.
Not gonna happen. Lehens might have to pay for it, but no, he doesn't even seem like he will. They want to punish, and Lehens will give his life for it. But one Zac shot onto Zac is not enough, as Siwu trying to turn this one around. They keep Nongshim around, and now GENG trying to force them into a fight, but Duro gets bounced out, so a huge amount of damage comes out. The Shockwave catches the back line, and now you've got Fisher and Gideon right on top of both of them. GENG just reeking of desperation here, trying to get over and punish, and they are the ones that get punished for this fight. And there's still Jason Chovy here. I mean, it's Mega Cone
the
Zac.
TP flank?
It's Mega Cone Zac. He didn't even need the TP. And there you go, it's an ace.
They clean up, they get the Baron. They might be looking to push an end, but I'm not sure they can get it in time, so I think they're going to back away on this one. They may just look for the inhibitor tower. I think maybe not even going to go for that. They want the dragon.
The Chemtech Soul.
But huge fight from Nongshim, and I think GENG, there was definitely a point where you could have backed away on that one.
Absolutely.
But they just ended up committing to the bit, right? They're like, hey, this might be our best chance we can get. Lehens is low. We're going to pop the Jhin ultimate. Lehens is like, guys, go on without me. And then Canyon dives in, but this Nocturne's so weak. Duro comes in, and honestly, Duro gets good value with the ult, but the follow-up's just not quite there.
Yeah, look at the peel as well. Like,
yeah.
That's what I was talking about. The Zac is huge in these moments.
And then Gideon, this shockwave into the knock-up, and then the double slam is beautiful play, honestly. Gideon's been so good on the Zac. And Jhin just can't do anything. And now they're going to get Chemtech Soul. If you thought it was hard to kill them before,
yeah,
it just got a lot harder. It just got a lot harder. But guys, do not worry. Do not fret. Ruler has nearly finished his rapid-fire cannon.
yeah.
Oh, no, he's got it. He's got it, guys.
Oh, he's got it, okay.
Guys, this is what they're waiting for.
The spike has been hit.
No IE, no Void Staff. Doesn't matter. We have the rapid-fire.
Yes.
Guys, Kingen is not taking much damage right now. And he's not even below half HP.
Yeah, I mean, Chovy doesn't do damage to him. King doesn't do damage to him. Ruler doesn't do damage to him. And it's not just him, it's Gideon too. And there you go. I'm not sure about that one. Nice Sonya's, I guess. And the follow-up, pretty big, although Nongshim are going very deep for this one. And eventually, we talked about this, eventually you can kill them, although Duro is going to be traded out.
Oh my god, that's a big ult.
Yeah. You can see the health bars are very slowly beginning to fall. Okay, Kingen says we can win. We're still going. We're still sieging.
That one that threaded the needle on Jiwoo made me very nervous. He should not be tanking Jhin ults, but it feels like GENG have to do so much work to kill just the Alistar.
It took them forever.
It took them so long.
But they did it.
Yeah, their base is in shambles, and now Nongshim can just reset and head top, and the Super Minion is going to do the work for them. And the thing is, they didn't actually really get any additional summoners off the back of that. Like, Jiwoo bit his in the last fight, so it won't be long before that's back up. I think that's a big reason why this fight felt a little scrappy for Nongshim, because they were down sums. This was a great reaction from Chovy, honestly. Yeah. I think him and Keen have been playing these fights really well, but they're just so far behind. They focus down on Lehens, they take him out, and then the Arcane Storm for Victor just actually doing so much damage. And then this shot, look at this next one. Oh, that should not be hitting your Varus. But yeah, it's still okay. They're still too bulky. way too bulky.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like at this point in time, GENG have to thread the needle multiple times in order to actually win. So, you know, we saw a little example of it there.
I mean, look at Jiwoo's items now. He's 4 items, and he has a bonus chain vest. And he has Terminus and Wit's End, so he is legitimately tanky now. Like, he actually won't go down easily.
Yeah.
And, like, is your Hex Plate, Black Cleave, and Knocked In gonna kill him? No.
No.
He's nearly got Flash Up as well. Oh. Lehens?
I think Len's just having fun.
He's having a great time.
I think he's sending a message, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, what up? Nongshim. I moved over to Nongshim. I knew we'd be better than you guys.
Imagine Lehens. I mean, after this game, it comes to the final one, but Lehens pulling the reverse sweep on his old team, his old teammates. You can tell he's hyped. You can tell he's hyped. Because this game looks, dare I say, as good as done.
Yeah.
Dangerous words to use with Nongshim today, but
you know, they've been through a lot of adversity, right?
They were just calibrating how to destroy Nexuses. Okay?
It has only made them stronger. The adversity they have had to go through in this game,
They've
this
battled.
series.
They've battled.
They battled harder than GENG.
Anyone who's eaten the really, really spicy Nongshim noodles will know this adversity, right? Yes, it hurts, but you come out a stronger person.
Yeah, exactly. And Nongshim have done exactly that.
Absolutely.
Every game they've come out with so much to learn from. Even the game that they won.
If losing is improving, they improved a lot in those first 2 games.
Exactly. There's GENG, you know? They won the first game. They won the second game, kind of.
Just about.
But it's been a big mess.
Yeah.
To say the least.
And now Baron up in 20. They did get that top outer tower, which was up for a very long time, Nongshim, on that last push. But for now, are looking to just deny area away from the Baron. And there's 2 problems. So firstly, you have this Jace, who's not like a Camille, like we had in the earlier games, not as good as a threat on the flank. And secondly, you don't really have the deep wards this time. So I think a lot of the problems in previous games were solved by Keen just TP flanking. They don't have that tool in their wheelhouse in this one.
Yeah. Well, GENG are going to have to send it one way or another as the Baron was unleashed. Here comes Duro looking for that front line. Fisher should not be frontlining, but eventually he should be okay. Flashes away. And they're just trying to fight front to back now, catching Keen out, but the damage is not quite there. You know, Nongshim tried to turn, but it's like they tripped over their own feet while it was happening. The paranoia obviously not helping them very much.
Yeah. I feel like if GENG stalled any more, then maybe they decouple the Elder and the Baron, but it looks like the Baron's going to go down, Elder's still in a minute.
Oh, they're getting in there, but there's the knockup on a Chovy. Follow-up knockup. The bouncy house is beginning. In goes the Zac, and Chovy doesn't have flash anymore. Down will go Keen. I think this is just the nail in the coffin. Ruler.
Look at Jin!
He's fumbling the bullets. He's tripped over his own feet.
He's trying to reload. Look at the damage.
Oh, no. He nearly maybe chipped away at the shield.
Wait, Canyon, don't die to the Krugs. He has to defend the base. Recall Canyon. You can do it. Oh no!
He's dying.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no! I don't think he wins this.
No, I don't think so.
He's got his little puppy to help him. His little the disrespect auto.
We're going to game 5, and I didn't think it was possible, but the one-hit curse is stronger than mine as Nongshim will force a game 5. And as our space already mentioned, they have been ahead in pretty much every game. Game 1 was the only a little bit closer, but they have been the dominant team this series.
I think it's safe to say that despite it being 2-2, Nongshim have been the better team on the day. They've made mistakes, absolutely, and that has allowed GENG to capitalize. But I think a lot of GENG's capitalizations have come from hands diff and like Keen doing some great teleports. But as a unit, as a team, Nongshim have really looked better despite those mistakes. And they've taken it to game 5. The reverse sweep is one away, and to reverse sweep GENG of all teams.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people when T1 got knocked out were like, guys, did Nongshim deserve top 4 over T1? The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. At this point.
They've earned it. And Chovy on this Victor was trying his hardest, doing so much damage. But a lot of tanks in the team. You can do 39.7k damage. That's Gideon's health bar.
Yeah. It was not nearly enough. This comp here for GENG did not quite hit at all. The R5 Zac was incredible. Don't let the damage of Gideon fool you. The Zac was amazing.
I want to
in
see
this
damage
game.
taken.
Yeah, we honestly, I feel like we should have those stats. But either way, it's Silver Scrapes. It's happening again. It's just over and over and over. We're repeating it here at the LCK Cup, and it will happen again today as we are getting ready for that epic game number 5. We'll just have to wait and see who will take it down as we'll throw it to a break.
천천히 이제 바로 형 우리 먼저
먹어,
칠게.
먹어.
아나 쌈 볼게 이거 쌈 볼게 보자. 야 삐져. 빅토르. 아 이게 없어. 라이브부터 봐. 아 빅토르 봐줘. 빅토르 볼게. 야 집 봐줘. 이겼어? 야 이거 미드 라인 지켜. 아 끝났어. 나도. 나이스. 끝내자. 나이스. 앞판 잘하다.
오늘 신화를 쓰나요?
끝난가?
끝났어.
아 이 세트 이긴 건데 씨.
세트가 아니라 3대0 각이긴 했어.
오각이네.
괜찮아 얘들아. 예, 어차피 이게 집중력 싸움이라 그냥 끝까지만 가보자. 잘해보자.
아나 오각
아예
처음인 것 같은데.
자크 피해. 잘했다. 야, 우리 집중력 잊지 말아볼 거야. 파이팅.